Welcome to Tuesday's Market SITREP here at Top Gun Options. My name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz, and sent out an alert during the primary live trade brief a couple minutes ago to close out our weekly SPX S&P 500 bull put spread. Nice rip your face off rally today on a host of things, which I'll brief in a second, but hopefully you got that text or email alert. 61% gain in a day in a trade. Hell of a trade, so I'd close that one out. So what's going on here, folks? Big article in the journal today. Again, one of the wizisms here at Top Gun Options is the market only cares when it cares. This stuff is going on whether or not Comedy Central, CNBC, cares or Fox or is reporting it. China preparing for a crisis along its North Korean border, folks. They are deploying 880-mile border. They are deploying troops, civil defense troops, chemical weapons gear, all sorts of stuff along this border with North Korea. Do they know something we should know? They do, folks. China doesn't bluff, okay? China just do. Whether it's picking up dirt from China, sailing 600 miles into the Pacific, dropping it onto an atoll, and calling it New China. Thanks, Obama. Another mess we got to clean up from you. They just do. So I don't think this is a feint out of China to scare cream of some young guy into giving up his nukes or throttling back. I think they genuinely believe that the president is going to do something about North Korea, and that's all. China really doesn't want, tens of millions of starving North Koreans streaming into China. This is on the back burner, but folks, in the blink of an eye, a stray artillery shell or somebody says something, and this thing, the Dow's down 1,000 points, and at that point, you don't even care about your portfolio because it's going to be horrific. So, again, I haven't seen this. I don't think I've seen this ever, folks. The VIX, we almost had an 8 print on the VIX this morning. It got as low as like 904, almost an $8 print on the VIX, folks, saying that essentially there is nothing absolutely that can go wrong in this world. And that's just, I have to shake my head. It's absolutely unbelievable. But strategically, guys, keep an eye on the North Korean crisis. Just because nobody's talking about it except us doesn't mean it's not happening. These dudes on a boat are going somewhere, and just because CNBC didn't talk about it doesn't mean you shouldn't be hedged for it. This is what you also have to be hedged for, man. I think this guy's a vampire. I don't even think he sleeps. The tweet storm out of the president, very, very dangerous. All over Jeff Sessions. I get it. He should fire Jeff Sessions. Remember, folks, if you're the CEO of a company and you interview somebody and ask them, hour-long interview, you ask them everything, and then at the end you do the old catch-all. Is there anything you need to tell me that could prohibit you from, doing your job well? Nope. And then you hire him, and then 2 weeks later you say, well, I can't do that individual task because it's in competition with my previous employer. You're fired. So Sessions becoming Attorney General and then immediately recusing himself because, oh yeah, I forgot about that one meeting. Trump should fire the guy. But in this highly political charged environment, if Trump fires Sessions, that is when the Dow is going to be down 1,000 points, because here we go with the whole liberals and the media with the Saturday Night Massacre. So if you're not trading politics right now, you're an idiot. We are one tweet away from Sessions being fired or just mass hysteria, or a China tweet. Hey, trade war underway if you guys don't sit on North Korea. Keep an eye on this guy's tweets, folks. What do I think happens? Jeff Sessions can't sit here as one of the earliest Trump supporters with good conscience and say, how can this guy effectively serve going forward as the Attorney General with all this, with the president essentially publicly giving him shit? It ain't going to happen. I think he steps down. I think the market might react to that a little bit, but I think a Rudy Giuliani or a Ted Cruz from Texas would be a calming influence. I think Ted Cruz might actually go after the second tweet. I've always wondered this, guys. This ain't my first rodeo politically, guys. Ukrainian efforts to sabotage my campaign, quietly working to boost. Where's the investigation into Hillary deleting all of her emails, bleach bidding her server, taking a hammer to the server and the Blackberries? Why is Jeff Sessions concentrating on a bunch of Doritos, right? MS-13 gangs. They're like Doritos. Crunch all you want. They're going to make more. Or they're going to come across the border again, folks. I don't give a shit about MS-13. I care about us correcting the George Orwellian atmosphere we have, where all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. We can worry about, in a year of this Russia investigation, the most they've gotten is his son maybe meeting with a Russian attorney. That's it. If that's it, why do we have a special counsel? He should be able to fire Mueller, too. He's good friends with Jim Comey. That immediately would cause a recusal out of a Republican, right? Jeff Sessions, if he would have recused himself in the bat of an eye. Instead, he hired one of Hillary Clinton's attorneys and other main Democratic donors that are attorneys. Not one Republican hired by Mueller. So, folks, why am I on this political rant? Is because guess what? And he slams the head of the FBI, Andrew McCabe. I would too. The current head of the FBI, his wife ran for something in Virginia, House, State House, State Congress, whatever. Hillary Clinton campaign gave her $700,000. How the hell can this dude be impartial either? So I get it, Mr. President, and then obviously the potential failure to repeal Obamacare vote this afternoon. John McCain, bless his heart, Christ Almighty, they're dragging him in to maybe even get the push it over the goal line vote to repeal. After 7 years of voting nonstop to repeal this thing, we can't do it. Not we. I'm not a Republican anymore, folks. I'm a libertarian. We can't even repeal it. So, rant complete. You have got to. It's ridiculous that the VIX is around here at 9 with all of this going on. Potential war in Washington. But what do we do, man? We smoke the opium and we go higher. So it really is a clown. Oil was good. Oil caught a little bit of a rebound as Saudis are cracking the whip, demanding compliance with their agreed to cuts. I mean, you can't. I laugh about it every time, but every once in a while I do have to wipe my eyes like this because it's shocking and funny. We all agree to do something at OPEC. Harumph, yay, production cuts. They hop on their nice G6, go back to their country and go, you wouldn't believe what I told those guys that we were going to do. Open the spigots, and then they all lie. Now the Saudis are trying to crack the whip and push sanctions against countries that don't comply. Yawn, oil goes up. But anyway, guys, Alphabet, actually I'm never going to call it Alphabet, had an iron condor, a weekly iron condor a year or two ago when they changed their name from Alphabet that I got blown out on. So I've refused to call them Alphabet or that name. They're Google. Google beat on the bottom and the top lines, guys. Good earnings, good ad revenue, weak on clicks. So it was one of those, it was kind of like the financials last week. Beat top, bottom, but other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? But one of the main reasons the market's really seeing a rally today is Europe. Guys, Europe is a huge clown car, but the Stocks Europe 600 had a big bounce of like 0.6%, driven by the highest reading out of German business sentiment. Okay, that's a mouthful. And I think the market's also a little bit higher based on Caterpillar. Remember, Caterpillar is Tonka toys, guys. This is build tunnels, bridges, big stuff is Caterpillar, and they've been hurting for years with their earnings. To see them having a good quarter is helping the market as well. But remember, guys, I briefed this yesterday. With all this good going on and potential bad, there's a lot of apprehension in the market. We talked about this huge call 1x2 yesterday on the VIX, a $262 million bet. That vol is going to double from 12 to 25 by October. Huge call 1x2. If you remember, make sure you watch today's replay because I cover this trade in depth. This is it's getting serious, guys. Which fund is it? Roofer Fund. They're a $20 billion fund. They spent about $119 million this year betting on a stock market implosion. Remember, folks, if you're the type of trader that sits here and says, or just in general, I don't sit here and say, God, I'm losing money each month on my USAA auto, home, and life. Matter of fact, it's on auto pay. I think I get an email once a month that says, hey, your USAA bill was paid. Great. That's the way these funds are treating it, guys, because I know a broken clock is right twice a day. Something's got to give here. One of these bad things is going to happen, and all it's going to take is somebody to even whisper fire, and this market is going to implode. It's going to be violent, folks. Remember, we've gone ages without a 5% pullback in the market. And if that happens, we're looking at there's $40 billion invested in VIX ETFs, $40 billion. More than half of that is short. So if we do get hey, I just fired Jeff Sessions and the VIX goes to 15 in about 10 minutes, it's going to wipe out so many people. The trade of the year obviously has been short vol. That's been a lucky strike moment with all the bad that I briefed, guys, to step in front of that and go, none of that's going to happen. That ain't me, and you guys know that. I'd rather do do anything with vol except every once in a while when I really get creeped out to get long it. Being short vol, man, I hope you guys, if you're short vol, you've built up enough of a war chest that when it does spike, you don't get completely wiped out, okay? So good stuff going on. I mean, we are, you got to smoke some hopium. I think we're going to chop through earnings. Like I told my members today, I changed my strategic mindset from cautiously bullish to market neutral. I get the little pop today, but it's Tuesday, folks. And that's also why, I sent out the alert to, there it is, to close that weekly options trade for a nice 60%, 61% profit in a day. One day, 61% profit, okay? And then finally to my members, hopefully around lunchtime, I'm going to send out the link to our Lake Tahoe event. The Lake Tahoe event is going to be November 3rd and 4th. We're going to go see if we can find Fredo swimming in Lake Tahoe. That'll be one of the events, okay? All right, folks, I got to run. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and I'll be back tomorrow with Wednesday's Market SITREP. We'll see you.